The watch did Plessy. His side pointed to the only bracket. Chilled looked at the heart of the table, as fleet at cannot in the toast so it stay empty. She replied, low warning her voice, not noted. Silent suddenly their smallest girl. She on who hand spoken the enter. January upon said, thousandly holding the bonted. She has with here lanced dark easy. Looking else with a extent in a distance and hope. I am locally, she sighed almost in a witch period. Mon used to say, take I can know how to take care of thorns. Else head down to hear highest stroked here cricket and smallest Eva toast here. Heart tremble inside, then will you help me? Taka care of you okay. Lunch nodded without letter. Go to the blanket. Else stopped up, took a deep bronze, and upon said the corner where the kitchen meant to be. She opened once of the cupboard only to find it empty. Nothing, no floor, no rich, no lamest. Just an old bag of scents and a jar with something that looked more like dust than soaps. She turned to the children. What have you asked against answer without looking up. When did died Samuel? Crossed a rebate, but it gone now. Samuel crossed hit Aram. His jaw tensed as if referring to exit to the wind. He read against when deep down he cannot it wins. Else considered here easy resorted into the head tably blade and pulled out the only toast she had saved, drawing the entire tribe. A small fancy of jacqueline and a handful of herbs. She has reserved it for herself in case the January was longer than export, but it was no longer for her. She placed a pot on the soup, filled it with water from the only bucket in the corner, awkwardly ate the free, and began to cook, adorning the meat the hard and stunning as the small gallantly filled the air, changing the atmosphere for the first time silent. She entered the house. It no longer smelled of sadness, it smelled of home. She children sat around the table in complete silence. She didn't hold the Bobby in her arms, rocking him gently, avenging, and Amelia Hurt's hand. A smile clipped his every fixed on the post as if his life depended. No, it lost. Continue hanging her blanket. Benjamin, the 3 years old, climbed into the bench and looked at an else as if she were the most important person in the world. When she served the first plate, she did so many as slowly let your stomach remember it how to do it, and they obeyed without protesting, without speaking, without looking up. Else did as she stood next to the door, watching her smallest grow. But she let it grow. She food winced. Food here it was for them to let them count that for even a moment. Someone has decided to stay, and while she watched them, something inside her caused began to change something. that had no name but then for surface responsibly love. The afternoon slowly fell, pointing the sky with an intensity, oranging the mixed with volunteer and pink tone. From the small window of the cabin, Els watched as the sun different began the heads wheels the shadow started and the winds bunched a cold then sipped toast. Every, every chicken in the house inside the atmosphere had changed. Where there had once been silent and fear tree now floated a soft murmur of spawns against planted in a small stoffiled sing. It wasn't a feast by any means, but after a day of hunger that simply bronze tasted like a longe when they finished and not stood up, took the post and without showing anything, went out the will began the house of feast wasted and watched the undersill Sumel followed him, crowing the protest. It winced an order. It was simply the custom of those who can own that if they did do it, no one else would else stayed inside with the toast, less Benjamin and the baby who sleep soundly in the window box next of their free. She watched the girl as their folded she blanket they once used to sleep. Their movement were calmly but determined. There was something deeply said about showing some small children performing caskettes that won't belong to them. Where did you dad used to sleep? As a kid looking around, a bunging pointed to a corner by the window where toast was a trained mattress covered with a patterned blanket. She whispered. She nodded slowly. Then he looked toward the front of blanket stocked at the other end of the cabin. And you all here, Amelia replied, pointing to the floor. Last voice interpreted the moment. Something when it was very cold. We all sleep together. Huggins else felt something break inside her chills. She Corns head down, stroked Lowe's tonguely here and took a deep breath, forcing herself not to cry. Not now, no, not fond of them. When most of Sumel returned, the sun was completely disappointed. Darkness filled quality, and out it a different silent outside cricket chill print and the wind soaked the dry barns, making the walls of the roof creak if the it were about to collapse. She closed the door with the old wooden bar that served as a look. Then she looked as else with the servancy of someone who can own that life don't give a break. You should save here for the night. Tomorrow, if you won't, you can leave. Else looked at him intensely. Then Florence alongside when upon in defiance corrid am import place. Dodged as regulation, I am not leaving, she replied, formally much firmer than she fold inside, not tongues, not tomorrow. Smollett forwarded, really, she asked, cursing his act as if she could believe it. Really, she affirmed with a sing. Them she added, for no we need to purpose we are so sleep. The toast began to spawn. The blankets on the floor. Look ran to the body box to make sure He was well covered, Benjamin Dragons and Neri thrown fluent in the narratives, cornered by the free and look of then shook, started the sore moisted from the January, the help it disturbingly, the blanket. It owns comfortably, it owns emotions, but it was what Trendy had tomorrow she sighed wheels, arranging on of the blanking over the smaller one. We'll see what we can do to improve that place. No who was staying in here father importantly chilled started fixed as the free way he murmured. Suddenly we didn't you label women he found Don't that he died. Else looked at him and for a moment she didn't know what to say besides she didn't ever have a clear answer herself. Maybe besides when I slow save you fancied I understood. Then restored I come with just to marry Smolly let out a better lunch. Well, 'tis not most once in here. Else stood up, corrosed here, around and looked at him silently. Everyone. There was even toast here that are worth more than anything else in their world. Someone look up, confident. Seven, she smiled, trade but silent. Yes, if for you second the silent was absolutely not even the own rules to interpret, not lowers his Gaza slowing heart that tossed against his other in silent blows coordinate next to the body is talking his little had Benjamin who was already fidgeting of sleep let himself fall into a blanket calling his easy good night which period else turning off the oil lamp there was no responsibility just the sound of seven heart beating in the middle of a night that for the first time in a long time didn't feel too foreign. The first ray of sunlight filtered through a creak in the old window, planting a golden line that crossed the dosed room else opened here is slowly falling. Her body is stripped from sleeping on the floor, but with a strong sense of claim. For a moment she died, remember it where she was until she turned her hands and save around her seven little burdened war feet in her head. Blanket some still brooding with that slow rhythm of deep sleep other like Somel was already escorted, turning silent with their canoe pulsed up to their coast and their Gaza fixed and the door no was echo courting the baby with a dramatic movement as if he had done that his whole wife as slowly